Welcome to the Beach House with Mo and Steph. Come on in, pour yourself a drink, and join us out on the deck as we inspire, encourage, and empower one another to live authentic, audacious, above-only lives. It's all right here at the Beach House. Welcome to the Beach House, another amazing episode with Mo and Steph. At the Beach House.
It's been a long time since I've seen you.
I know.
Like an hour ago.
This is so fun because normally we do our stuff over Zoom because Mo is in California and I'm in Texas. But now we're here together.
We're together.
This is not like, this isn't split screen.
It is real.
This is real. Look at, we touch.
Look. Woo!
It's real stuff here. It's real stuff. We got a real couch, real people.
This is a real couch. It's not even a prop.
This is real deal right here.
Actually, I want to get one like this. This is really lovely.
It's a real deal. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
So, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about getting in the game.
Getting in
No
the
matter
game.
what.
The
Like,
game of life.
Yeah.
The
game
of life.
Life and newness and fear free.
Fear-free with the newness.
With the newness.
With the newness. Oh, man.
We can start with this podcast.
We can start with this podcast because, this is one of those things that if we were walking in what our thoughts were, we would not be here.
No.
That is the truth.
Right.
Because our thoughts said, you don't do this. People are going to see you.
Yeah.
People are going to see you. People are going to hear your thoughts. People are going to judge you.
And we didn't think we had anything really important to say.
Yeah, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
We've only been talking for what? I don't know.
Like
several decades?
Yeah.
But what are we going to talk about? Who even cares?
Well, we didn't know it was important.
No.
Well, you know what? Honestly, we have to go through our journey. And then when you realize when you get on the other side of what the first journey is that we had, that nobody told us jack.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just you were going, it's just blind.
Yeah.
As if all these people were living life and it's just like, oh yeah, we don't know what menopause is.
You'll
Stuff
figure
like
it
that.
out.
Stuff you just don't talk about.
Figure it
Right?
out when you get there.
Yeah, when you get there. I don't want to figure
I
out
need to be prepared.
jack a doo-doo. I mean, if you know the nuggets, bring
Somebody
them.
better tell me.
Bring the nuggets.
Somebody better tell me.
Yeah.
So, we're not going to leave you out there hanging like
Yeah,
that. We're going to tell you.
Yeah.
If I know it, you know it.
Yeah.
And it's only going to cost you $5 million. That's all.
Just
For the low price.
Zip.
Here's Lizelle. For the low price of only $5 million, you can know
Yes,
what I
indeed.
know.
Yes, indeed. But the podcast part of it,
Okay,
deep because
it is.
we
Because,
started out just voice because Spotify.
yes.
Honestly.
But even going back before that, it's like we met at a conference in San Diego that I was going to, and I said, hey, well, I'm going to be out here. You want to come do this? We can hang together. It's going to be so fun. So she comes up there, and while we're doing the conference, on one of our lunch breaks, I said, let's do like a live video and just talk about the conference.
Yeah, we were eating.
Yeah, we're just sitting there eating and talking about the conference, and we're like, hey, you guys should be here, that kind of thing. And afterwards, I was like, you know what? We should do a podcast. We have so much stuff we can be talking about. We should do a podcast. And we're like, yeah, that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool.
I'm like, what's a podcast?
And then she
podcast.
said, what's a podcast?
What's that? That's how long I've been in the trenches, people.
I've been explaining what a podcast is and why we should do it. And they were like, yeah, that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. And then after we get out of the conference, months go by. And, we're like, are we ever going to do that podcast? And we're like, oh, yeah, that'd be cool, yeah. Mm-hmm. Never happened.
We didn't know how to start it.
We didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so that's part of getting in the game. It's like fear of the unknown will keep you stuck in your little hole.
Yeah.
It'll keep you stuck.
But I think what helped us, and it's amazing, it's just timing.
Yeah.
Because we're already, like for me, I'm already having meetings over Zoom.
Right.
With my job, right? So that concept helped me because I knew that we could do it like that. Like
Yeah.
you can be
I'm like, how are we gonna do this?
here,
We can do it
in
on
California.
Zoom because
Yeah.
I mean we taught our martial arts classes over Zoom.
Yeah.
So like we can do this, but then the whole thought process of, well, what are you gonna talk about?
Yeah.
People are gonna see you and how are we gonna do this and how are we gonna do that? And it's like fear of not knowing is what keeps most people from doing great things.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many ideas that people have, but that not knowing, they don't even attempt it.
Right.
They don't even attempt it. I mean, I remember when I was starting opening up my school. My husband said, I want to open up a martial arts school. We teach all the time for other people. Why don't we do it ourselves? And the question was, well, how do we do it? And I'm like, I don't know. How hard can it be? And that was our motto.
That's it.
That was literally our motto. It's like, if we didn't know how to do something, we didn't have money when we started to hire people to do stuff. And so he was like, well, how hard could it be? That was our motto. And so we went with that. It's like, we could figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I started looking up, how do you start a business in Texas? It was just that simple. And I just followed the instructions.
Wow.
And next thing you know, we had a martial arts school open.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, how do we do a podcast? Let's talk to people who have a podcast. Let's find out.
Yeah. And Hannah helped with that, right?
Yep. Hannah Keeley.
Yeah.
Hannah Keeley.
Hi, Hannah.
Founder of Company Coach Academy. Mom Master University.
Yes.
Check those out.
For moms.
You want to be there.
But another thing is, if let's jump off. I'll jump off the podcast thing first.
Jump up.
But like you said, different things of things that you know how to do, and you have to kind of grab onto it and initiate and do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you're saying that, I'm thinking about all the other businesses that I had, and then even down to would have those conventions, and we're watching people, film the conventions and do the sound
Yeah.
and all that, and so we have to start doing conventions for our business also, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because we did, Brian, actually did the switchboard, the soundboard for church, right? And he always did the soundboard for church, and I was behind the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So then what
Instant education.
Yeah, free education, because then what we started doing was filming conferences for the other businesses.
Mm-hmm.
When they had a conference, we would just film for them, right? So then we took that and made that into a business as we were doing our other business. I think we had 3 at one time, just going, But it's just taking what you learn and then just applying it somewhere else.
Yeah. And the thing about it is you don't know what's going to hit and what's not going to hit.
No.
And that's not your care, really. I
No,
mean,
it's the skills.
yeah.
It's like the arsenal belt.
Yeah.
Like you're putting something in the arsenal belt.
Because everything you try, you're gaining something from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the thing, I look at with the kids that we have come into the school, and our whole thing is we want to push you out of your comfort zone. We want to challenge you. We want to have it be smooth enough to where you can do it, but we want to have it slightly above your comfort zone, so you have to push yourself.
Right.
And that's pretty much what you have to do in any area, whether you're in school or whether you're in a sport, whatever it is. If it's too simple, you're going to drop off of it. But if it's too hard, you're going to drop off of it.
Right.
So it's got to be in that little sweet spot where it challenges you enough to cause you to rise up, but it's still something that you are able to do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the fear part.
Yeah.
Because that's the getting out of the Jesus moment, the getting out of the boat
Yep.
part of it.
Because if
like
you
all the
don't
way
do
out the boat,
everything, it's not gonna happen.
yeah, don't have the foot in the boat. Like get out.
You gotta get
You gotta get out. And if you don't, that's when you have to visually see it bigger than you. Okay, how can this help? Like the thing that I like to do is like, how is this gonna help my grandkids?
That's a good thought.
How is this going to help my generations? Because think about it, you're creating, this is for your generational wealth.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing. This is for the future of kids you don't even, in your family that you are
probably never see.
You never see them. But it has to start somewhere, right? So I sit there with the baby, with my granddaughter, and I'm looking at her, and she sees me working. She sees my pattern of working, and I have like this old laptop. And so I open my old laptop, and I put it down there on the floor, and then I'm working, right? And so she sees grandmommy doing this, so she's doing this, and she's walking around with her little pad of paper, and a little plastic thing. It's not a real pen, but she's walking around with that or whatever. But I'm looking at her and said, yeah, because you're a business owner. So I'm already speaking it into her.
The seed.
Yeah, I'm instilling that into her already. And then also, like, she's seeing the pattern of that work ethic.
Yes.
And that's important.
Oh,
because
yeah.
without the work ethic,
it's not gonna
you
happen.
jump into the next level is difficult.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to know that they're like for entrepreneurship and to like we're saying, get in the game. Because right now we're at a time where a lot of people are doing their own businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And they're recognizing for tax purposes or like you said, generational wealth or anything like that, that it has to start somewhere. It has to have a fear factor for you to it's painful. I'm not gonna lie, it's painful because you're the one paying for those paper clips.
Yeah.
You're the one paying for the paper.
Everything matters.
You're the one actually buying the printer. You're the one it changes that from a work mindset.
Yeah, because when you're working, it's like I can go. I'm doodling on the paper.
Yeah, you ain't doodling on that paper. You let
me write this number down. Let me get a brand new piece of paper and just write the number down on it. It's like when your business is at hand, you're like, oh shit, I gotta pay for that paper.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a different mindset.
It's a different mindset, completely different mindset. And it takes a transformational switch. Because a lot of people would say, like, oh man, a lot of people. When you're a chef, a lot of people, like, the first thing they say, so, where's your restaurant? Or what kind of restaurant would you like? Or what kind of food do you cook? Or what do you cook at your restaurant? And the first thing in my mind is like, dude, I don't want a restaurant.
Right.
It's like you're pigeonholed to that restaurant situation kind of thing.
Right. If you're a chef, you must work in a restaurant.
Right?
No.
And the reason why I never wanted my own restaurant is because I was on a university's campus that we developed restaurants. So I was doing that on somebody else's dime.
Yeah.
Right? So from beginning to end, I'm executive chef over that restaurant because I'm designing everything from the paper to the price the menu, what the mission statement's gonna be. I hire, I fire, I develop, I was big on developing the flow. There's a flow that restaurants use.
Yeah.
So how's it gonna flow so that you get your food fast enough that you
walk in
that
and
you
walk
can
out.
actually eat and get to class. And it's just a lot of things, right? Mm-hmm. And that all came into play because of the businesses I had before.
Right.
The mindset I had.
Yeah, that didn't last.
Right.
But those things that you learned there
are mine.
They stay with you.
Yeah.
Your thing, whatever you're working on, that may not last, but those skills are going to be with you forever.
Yeah.
And they're going to come into play somewhere else.
Yes.
But we get in this place to where it's like, I'm so afraid that I'm going to fail.
You're paralyzed.
That I don't make a move.
Yeah, you just paralyze it.
I know so many people that have wanted to do all these different things, and they were great ideas. I mean, they could really do something spectacular with them.
Mm-hmm.
But the fear of what if I fail has just
greater, wasn't it?
has just stunted it.
Yeah.
And it's like they never got started.
Right.
And it's like still talking about it. Years have gone by now, and it's still not done because you're trying to think about how to make everything fit beforehand.
Yeah, and that's
You can't do
that's
it.
the thing right there.
You can't
It's
do
like,
it.
you can't do that.
No, because you don't know.
Right.
You don't know what's going to be needed. You don't know what's going to take place. You don't know what's going to be required until you get in it and start moving.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
So me trying to figure it out, every little detail in my mind before I get started, I'm never going to get started.
You almost, when you do that, you paralyze yourself, and when you start paralyzing yourself, you're almost closing the doors that God wants to open
You are.
to send all the different people in that you don't know,
Yeah.
that have all the information that you're gonna need
before.
Yeah.
He's already got it.
Yeah.
He's already got it set up for you. But again, you have to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
You have to swing. And
The bat.
let's just be honest. You're not going to hit every pitch.
Right.
If we're talking about sports analogy, you're not going to dunk every shot. You're not going to catch every pass. You're not going to hit every pitch.
What's the book by John Maxwell? Something Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
Yep.
Dang,
There were so many numbers. Yeah.
I love it.
10.
And that's what he
21.
talks about that.
21 irrefutable.
21, yeah. 21 irrefutable.
Yes. Oh my God. I listen to that book every year. Twice a year I listen to this book. And
That's awesome.
it's by John Maxwell.
John C.
He
Maxwell.
is awesome.
John C.
And
Maxwell.
he talks about just swinging the bat.
Swing the bat.
His little son was up for bat to bat and didn't know how to hit the ball, but it's like just swing it.
Yeah.
Who cares if you swing it right? If you swing it
Eventually.
up, down, and eventually you're gonna hit the ball.
Because as you swing, you're going to hit the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to learn how I need to hit the ball.
Yes.
Okay, I had the bat here. When I hit the ball, it went up in the air. It came right down.
Yeah.
When I had the bat down here, it went to the ground.
Yes.
When I had the bat right here, it went out,
Yes.
and it soared.
Yeah.
But it's like, you'll never know that until you get up and swing.
Yeah.
You have to get on the field. You got to take the field. Got to take the field.
You have to. And there's so many, like, don't shut off your opportunities. Even if they're not in, like, the range of, like, what you do, like your job or whatever, like, you have your job. Now, remember, your job is basically making money so you can eat.
Right.
Okay? So don't put that in the category of
My calling.
your talent. Okay? But you're getting paid what they think you're worth.
Right.
You're not getting paid what you're worth.
What you are worth.
Right? So whatever that little thing that you think is just so out there, just
Is it?
go on.
Is it really out there?
There's a thing in Google.
Yeah.
Just go on Google and just kind of see how much it would cost. Like, how much is that really cost?
Well, I
And
remember.
right like that. And then you're like, oh my God, it's only so and so amount.
Yeah, I remember I was coaching a young lady. She was like in her early 20s, and I said, "Well, what do you like to do?" Because she's like, "I just don't know what I'm gonna do." I'm like, "Well, what do you like to do?" And she says, "I like photography." And she says, "But I like to film like outdoor things. All these just beautiful landscapes and things like that." And she's like, "Well, I can't really make money at that." And I said, "Who told you that?" And she's like, "Well, nobody told me that, but people do weddings and they do." I'm like, photography is photography.
Exactly.
How do you know you can't make money at it? And she's like, well, I don't.
Wow.
And I said, have you ever looked? And she's like, well, no, because I just assume you have to do portraits.
Leaders never assume.
And I said, well, why don't you look and see what is available in the field that you like to do?
Yeah.
And so we came back at the next session, and she's like, oh my gosh.
This is like a little bit of time. Like
yeah,
an hour.
no, you know, I had her go back. I had her go do some homework.
Yeah.
And she came back the next week, and she's like, you can make money doing landscape photography.
Oh my God.
I'm like, really?
Wow.
Now, because they don't have artwork that is landscapes. They sure as heck don't have calendars. They sure as heck don't have like backgrounds and things like
for
that.
your TV.
Oh, no, yeah, they don't have any of that stuff.
Like we have right here going on
Exactly.
TV behind us right now on the beach.
But in her mind, if I'm gonna do photography, it has to be weddings and portraits and
wow.
And it never dawned on her that she could do something different.
Dang. Wow.
So it's like not getting up to the plate. I'm not even gonna
and
bother.
She has a camera and everything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother to get up to the plate because I know it doesn't exist. How do you know it doesn't exist?
It doesn't exist.
Did you look?
You didn't make it exist.
And even if it didn't exist,
Make it exist.
you are the one to make it exist.
Yeah.
Why didn't you have to be first? Is that bad?
It's that fear.
Yeah. Is it wrong to be the first one to do something?
Right. Think about this, guys. Fear to Satan or the enemy. Fear to the enemy or enemy of anything. Fear to enemy is the same as faith is to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's how powerful that is.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of which one you put into
work
play.
in? Which one do
Which
you
one
want
you
to
put
work
into
in?
play. And another thing to take away with yourself, like a little nugget, and I already threw it out there, I'm going to throw it out there again. Never, ever assume.
Mm-mm.
Leaders
Assumption
never
is like
assume.
the lowest form of knowledge.
Yes. Your business, okay, I'm going to do the business part.
Break it down, break it down.
Consulting.
Break it down.
In business, when you assume somebody knows something, or you assume that your team, they should know how to do that. You're an assumption, you're assuming, that is when your business will start falling apart. You always have to backtrack and teach. Everything that you do when it comes to business, and this is free,
It's free.
when it comes
It's
to
free right here.
business, is a teaching moment. And you need to always teach forward. Don't ever, ever, ever assume anything in any business. Because you don't know what I know. Because what's common to me
And I don't know what you
isn't
know.
common to you.
Mhm.
And that's why it's called common sense. What's common to me makes sense. What's common to her makes sense. Our common senses aren't the same.
Mm-mm.
Right? So watch out. That's a beware. Beware of doing that. So remember always, leaders never assume. Ever. That was free.
That's free. That's some
free.
free work right there.
That was free right there. We'll get me started. Woo-wee. Yeah, I'll talk about that all day long because starting a business is so different, and a lot of people will, like you said,
And
talk about it.
it's so different from working for someone else.
It is
Because
there's no paycheck.
no. And when you're working for someone else, you just follow the script.
Yeah.
You don't have to think outside of the box.
No, and you can stay in autopilot.
Yeah.
When you own a
It's like,
business,
this
there's
is what I
no
do. A,
Pilot.
B, C. A, B, C. You're doing that every day.
Yeah. There's no none of that in your own business.
But when you're doing your own thing,
You know, it's a different muscle. Let's put it there.
Yeah.
It's a different muscle, right? I have a friend that I have to give great respect to right now. I'm gonna give you great respect. Okay. You know, you have the left side, right side brain,
mm-hmm.
right? So he uses the art side of his brain because that's what he does. He's a musician. He uses that art side. Great at the art side. He's been doing it for his whole life, right? And he's getting older now or whatever. And he wants to start, like investments. He's done investments and stuff like that or whatever. But now he's moving into where I want to solidify some stuff. I want to like have a stronger business or whatever. So he opened this business or whatever, and I gotta commend him. I'm telling you, this brings tears because I know with learning disabilities for me, with some of the stuff that I have, that it's hard to just bring stuff into a tangible space. And because he uses that side of his brain, it's different than using the computer side of your brain. You know what I'm saying? The part that does that part. And so he's having to learn, and at his age too, to learn how to do these different things, and he's doing it, man. And the struggle was real. And he voiced the thing that was good for him is that he went into business with people who know how to do whatever he's doing, wants to do.
That's the key.
They know how to do it. So he's really good at coordinating people. So he's good at like, okay, this person knows how to do this person knows how to do this, because he does that with the music.
Yeah. And you gotta be around your strong suit.
Yeah. So he took his strong suits, right, and he brought that into a whole nother genre over here, right? And now he's good. I bring this person together, this person, and it's like a clique, and bring it together, and then he kind of coordinates what everybody does or whatever. But he has to go to other like places, clinics or doctor's offices or whatever, to learn how the whole foundation of what that business is all about.
Right.
And he's just like, he's voicing it. He's saying, slow down. I don't understand. I need to know what that means.
And that's key right there.
Yes.
You can't pretend like you know what's going on when you're in that learning process. You need to open your mouth and say, hey, I don't get this.
Right.
I don't get this.
Right.
And it's like, you know, we're talking about business, but getting in the game is for every area of life. I mean, when you're dealing with young people, it might be making friends. You know, there's so many kids that they're just kind of sitting by themselves because I don't know how to talk to people.
Right.
And, you know, that's one of the things we work on with the martial arts school. It's like, we had the kids in class go up and introduce themselves. I mean, one of the things that we do with the little guys is we have them get off the floor and go and talk to a parent out there that is not your own and introduce yourself and tell them something about you.
Wow.
Because you have to learn how to talk to people.
Right.
There's so many little introverts there that just, especially with the video games now, and people have their games and they have all their little systems, and they're just in their own little world. And that's their place that they stay in. That's their place of comfort, and they don't know how to talk to people.
Now, did you notice that got bigger, that not talking to people got bigger in the pandemic?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Definitely.
Because you have like a grip of 3 years of kids
of being alone.
Being alone.
Yeah, not being able to talk to people, not being able to be around people. So they're in this place to where they're in their little bubble, and they don't know how to come out, and they're afraid because I don't know if they're gonna like me. I don't know if they're gonna want to talk to me. You gotta get up and swing.
Yeah.
You gotta take the swing. You don't know if they're gonna talk to you, but you gotta go try.
Right.
You gotta make the first move. You can't wait for people to come to you. You gotta make the first move.